Forgiveness for 90 times. One day, Peter was sitting by the seaside, deeply pondering something.
If a brother wrongs me and asks for forgiveness, how many times should I forgive him? Once? Twice? No, surely I should forgive him at least 3 times. But even if I forgive once or twice, forgiving someone 3 times for their mistakes wouldn't be easy. What would the Lord say if I ask him? Since the Lord is full of love and mercy, he might say, "Forgive 7 times."
At that moment, Jesus approached Peter.
Simon, what are you thinking about?
Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother when he sins against me? Up to 7 times.
Not just 7 times, but 70 times 7 times.
70 times 7? That's 490 times that many.
This teaching meant that forgiveness should be limitless. Peter found it difficult to understand why he had to forgive others without limit. So Jesus shared a parable to explain the principle of the kingdom of heaven.
The kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants.
One servant was brought to him who owed 10,000 talents but did not repay the debt. King asked him,
"Why haven't you repaid the 10,000 talents you owe?"
Your Majesty, the debt is too great. No matter how hard I try, I cannot repay it.
Then you, your wife, your children, and everything you own must be sold to repay the debt.
This servant was about to lose everything and have his family sold into slavery. Even so, he was in no position to repay even a single talent, let alone 10,000 talents. But the servant said,
Please, Your Majesty, have patience with me, and I will repay everything.
The king, considering the servant's situation, realized that it was impossible for him to repay such a large debt. So the king took pity on the servant and said,
I will cancel your entire debt and set you free. Go and live freely.
Thus, the servant was forgiven of all his debt. On his way home, he came across a fellow servant who owed him 100 denarii.
Hello, my friend. How are you doing?
How am I doing? Pay back the 100 denarii you owe me.
All right, my friend. I'll pay you back. But please give me a little more time.
The repayment period is already overdue. Pay back the money by tomorrow at once. If you don't, you'll end up in prison.
Please, I beg you. Just one more month, and I'll repay the debt in full.
But the first servant refused his friend's plea. When the debt wasn't repaid by the next day, he had his friend thrown into prison. Other servants, upset by this injustice, reported the incident to the king. The king was furious and summoned the first servant.
You wicked servant. I forgave all your debt because you pleaded with me. Shouldn't you have shown mercy to your fellow servant just as I showed mercy to you?
The king handed the servant over to be punished until he could repay his entire debt. Children, what do you do when someone wrongs you or makes you upset?
I feel hurt.
I feel angry at them.
That's right. It's natural to feel upset and even angry. But when they ask for forgiveness, we must forgive them. Because Jesus concluded the story with the following words. Repeat those words and become a forgiving person.
Unless you forgive your brothers and sisters from your heart, my heavenly Father will not forgive you either.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 35. Well done. See you next week. Goodbye.